Welcome, everyone. I'm Gant Redmond. I'm the CEO of Trustle, a cybersecurity company focused on cloud and native access management. I am joined today by Bruce Schneier. Uh, if you are in security, I think you know Bruce. I was first introduced to Bruce through Applied Cryptography, his book, way back when I was an advisor to President Clinton on encryption export control. Somebody handed me this book and said, "You need to know this." Little did I know, years later, we would become colleagues at Resilient Systems and then be part of IBM together, and I would be sharing a desk with Bruce Schneier. So, absolutely, positively thrilled to have him here today. Welcome, Bruce.
Thanks. That's nice to be here. Well, be here, there. We're all virtual these days.
Absolutely. Where are you dialing in from?
So I am in Toronto. Normally, I'm at Harvard at the Kennedy School, but I took a year at the Monk School, at the University of Toronto. Toronto is an absolutely fantastic city. As a New Yorker, I can recommend it. It's like Chicago without the crime and the grime, I guess is a good way to put it, but it's a
Absolutely.
really nice city.
Absolutely. And I'm coming to you from Boston. So we're all in places where it's going to snow soon.
That's certainly true.
Well, we're here to talk a little bit about access management and the cloud. So Bruce, I'm sure you have some thoughts when it comes to the importance of controlling access. I think we were talking a little bit earlier about how, the way people get in is usually by a stolen identity. So people walk in, they're pretending to be somebody else, and the question is, where can they go? Where should they be allowed to go, Bruce?
It's funny. And Rob Joyce, back when he was the NSA's chief hacker, gave a talk at the Enigma conference, I think 2016, where he basically said this. He said, look, right, 0 days and fancy hacking, yeah, we do that. But honestly, we just steal credentials. Right? That's what we do. That's how we
Sure.
get it. It's the easiest way. It works. You never do sort of more than you have to. And right, we're living in a world where virtual credentials matter a lot. Right? I mean, I'm reading articles. There's a new one I just read about hackers that are hacking into payroll systems and basically changing where your direct deposit goes. And they're targeting universities. I don't know why, but
Sure.
they are. And here's an example of an attack that solely relies on credential stealing and as a criminal is surprisingly effective. And there are hundreds of these. As our stuff moves online, as what we do moves online, our need to authenticate, right? And that's who are you? How do you prove it? All right. And now what can you do? Becomes really critical everywhere. So this to me is the problem that if we don't get this right, nothing else matters, right? The systems just don't work.
Right. And one thing I'm running into, the folks I speak with usually have more than one cloud environment. So Trussell is focused on the cloud and SaaS apps. If
Which is
somebody,
good because that's what everyone else is using, right? This whole right, the notion of we own the infrastructure is as weird today as like we have our own modem banks, right? Everything is out in the cloud, and you're right. I mean, I'm going to have a very complicated environment, right? I'm going to have different applications are optimized in different areas. My company was built through acquisitions. It's never going to be one thing.
right,
Humans, organizations are too complicated for that. So being able to manage a complex blob with one system, like, is kind of important.
yeah, I'm with you. So, we generally sit on top of Azure, Google, um, AWS. Nice to be able to see all these from one place.
And you're
Um,
granular, right? I mean, you can turn things off for the weekend. You can, if someone gets fired, it could bang they're gone. If they
yes,
get
people like
fired, bang they're provisioned.
the red button is very popular.
But needed, right?
Yeah.
Because people do get fired in adversarial situations, and you can't have access technically lag access. I don't want to say politically, like you you can't fire someone and it take 24 hours to revoke their access. Right? That's
No,
unacceptable. It
absolutely.
has to take seconds.
Absolutely. Bad things can happen quickly.
Yes.
So maybe this is low-hanging fruit, but how does removing standing privilege change the scenario?
A privilege, right? The whole notion of standing privilege is that you have access flies in the face of how we normally do security. Right? And so okay, I'm gonna tell you something. I have an internet door lock. I know, don't judge, but I travel a lot and it's really valuable. And it's really valuable because I can add and revoke privilege on demand. All right. So if my housekeeper comes on Thursdays, I can set her up to come on Thursdays, and that's it. And when
Right.
she comes, I have a record of it. Right? If I want someone to come and fix a plumbing issue and I'm not there, I can set that up. I have a house guest for a week. I can set them up with access and it goes away when they leave. I mean, so even if something as simple as my front door, right? And
Yeah,
I'm just someone living in a normal house. I'm not a building with 300 employees doing all sorts of things. It's really valuable. It's
absolutely.
valuable because, right, I have this granular access control
Hmm.
that I can use to give people privilege, and I have audit. Right? I know if the plumber came. I actually know how long the plumber stayed because the plumber locks the door and they leave.
Right.
Right?
Do they
Really,
all
and
have
this
their
is just
own,
simple stuff.
do they all have and they have an individual code?
Everyone has an individual code.
Yeah.
And that's the way you do it. Otherwise, right, you don't have that audit capability.
Yeah. That's their identity and access.
That's right. And that's now, of course, where this fails is it's the front door, right? So it's not granular in access. You get into the front door, you have access to the house. You can imagine, right? If I was a little weirder, I could put one of these locks on every room, right? The plumber can go in, go downstairs, and only, to where the sump pump is,
Right.
right? The house guest, I guess this is mean, can get into the kitchen and their bedroom, but not my bedroom, right? I mean,
Sure.
if there's less trust
Sure.
and you build a more complicated system, you can do those sorts of things. And it's what we do on computer networks. Right? I log in, I'm here at the University of Toronto and I have an email address and I have workspace. I can only do my stuff, right? I don't have access to the payroll program because like why should I? But let's imagine some future where I'm now an IT person. I have to fix the payroll program. I'm sure somewhere in the university they can give me access. Can they do it well? Who knows?
So I've had a fascinating time during my time at Trustle. And one of the most interesting things when it comes to identity and access is the fact that I'm really speaking to two parts of the organization. And they seem to have slightly different motivations, but they work together. And that's security and IT. It's the CISO and the CIO. And it's been fascinating. And maybe this is more of a statement than a question, but I would love your thoughts. The the CISO is thinking about compliance. They're thinking about the audits they're going to be subject to. They're thinking about, what are my requirements based on the fact I'm a financial institution, I have a SOC 2, I'm health, I've got PHI. The person in IT understands that least privilege is a good thing. It's a good thing. It's what they should be doing. But there's this balance, and there's always a balance when you're the IT manager or the like, because security usually has some sort of speed bump. And standing privilege is easy. You go any place you want. You turn that off and make someone request access. Well, that's something very different. I always hear about, oh my gosh, it takes like days for me to be able to grant access. They do a ticket system. What we've been trying to do is make that frictionless so that it's just in time. You do it on a phone. The more you make security accessible, the more people are going to feel comfortable with it and actually use it.
And of course, that's a problem with all security. Security is sort of by definition annoying, right? It's something you have to do. It gets in the way of what you want to do. And that's going to be your CIO CISO conflict, right? The CIO is focused on what does the thing do? And the CISO is focused on let's make sure it doesn't do anything it's not supposed to do. And by definition, that's annoying, right? You've got to carry around a house key. You've got to remember a combination. You've got to type a pin into your ATM machine. All of these things are barriers. Like, why can't I just get the money? Well, you can't because then anybody can get the money. But in order to make sure that nobody gets who shouldn't get the money gets your money, you got to remember your code. It's the way it
Absolutely.
goes. Right. But if we can make that easy, right, the easier you can make it, the better. So I'm going to go back to my door lock because I'm excited by it. I don't have this feature enabled, but you can enable a feature where my app for my door lock knows my location, and when I walk up to my door, it automatically unlocks.
Right. Kind of like your car.
Yeah,
Okay.
like that's freaking magic. Like that is completely safe. Now,
Yeah,
the security isn't gone. The security of my door is now the security of this object. Because if you steal my object, you could walk into my front door and it unlocks. It doesn't know anything about me. It just knows this object,
right.
right? But I'm converting something I know the code to get in,
Sure.
or to something I have the object,
Absolutely.
right? And that's something I have because it's proximity. A key, a physical key is also something I have, but I need to insert into the lock to prove to the lock that I have it.
Absolutely.
This is proximity. So, right. So it's making it more seamless, both for the user and also for the administrator matters a lot.
Gotcha. Now, I totally recognize this has been a bit cloud access management Trustle focused. But I'm talking to Bruce Schneier. Your world is so much bigger than this. And I don't want to keep you right there. I want to make sure that you can talk about some of the things that are on your mind these days.
I have a new book on AI and democracy coming out in October, and that's going on. I'm thinking a lot about integrity,
Okay.
about data integrity, not integrity as a moral feature, but as data integrity, and how that security property is not something we think about a lot, but
Hmm.
really important with AI systems. And a lot of the attacks on AI are integrity attacks. And if you remember the CIA triad, confidentiality, integrity, and availability,
Hmm.
those are the three
Hmm.
properties what we're supposed to provide.
Sure.
We're good at availability, we're good at confidentiality, we're terrible at integrity. We just haven't like thought about it much. And we need to think about it now. So those are the sorts of things I'm working on here.
Could you help me with integrity? When I hear it, I'm thinking about making sure that things you expect to be in a certain state stay in that state.
Well, it's a couple of things. I mean, that's storage integrity, right? That the stuff hasn't changed. But
Okay.
there's input integrity. If I put a sticker on a stop sign and the driverless car reads that as 55 miles an hour speed limit, which is a thing, that's an integrity attack, right? It's an input integrity attack.
Okay.
There was a Ariane rocket, it was a Mars lander that failed because the system moved a number from here to here, and here it was meters and here it was feet, and it didn't do the conversion. Right, so that is also an integrity attack. Right, the units were lost. There's output integrity, where the system just says things that aren't right. There's training integrity in AI systems. How do we know it's not being fed propaganda and bad data? There's a lot going on when you think about integrity. Very narrowly, it is just, did the bit flip in storage? But I think about input, output, processing, storage, unit integrity, sort of all of those things. Semantic integrity. It's a complicated property, but confidentiality is as well. It took us a good 20 years to really figure out what it meant. And I think it might be another couple of decades for us to get integrity right.
Fascinating. Well, I look forward to getting my hands on that book.
Yeah, I know. I haven't even begun writing that.
Are those some of your other titles behind you?
Those are, right. I'm here in Toronto, which means I have bare bookshelves except for my books. What's back there? That's Hacker's Mind is my latest book with the bright color cover, and then Click Here to Kill Everybody is the white cover. And yes, I mean I brought them here because I want to give them away to students. So that's exciting.
That's awesome. How's teaching?
Teaching is fun. Teaching is surprisingly fun.
Yeah.
Young people keep you young.
So you're going to be doing some more speaking at RSA?
I will be at RSA next year. I mean, it's nice. The semester here is over in time, and I'm not sure what I'm talking about yet. It'll probably be something in trust and integrity.
Yep.
I'm not sure what, but I mean that's what I'm thinking about. So likely what I'm going to talk about.
And I always enjoy, as do others.
It's always fun to do.
Yeah, it is. I've always enjoyed my time with you. I've learned a lot. We've had a lot of fun together. And I'm so thrilled that we were able to have this time today and share with others.
Indeed.
All righty.
All right. Good
Well,
luck with Trustle. It's kind of cool.
well, thank you. I think so too. Well, appreciate everybody for joining. Until next time.